Okay, so I was going to go through a few of these things. So here's the idea, right? Is that it's a multipartite temporal network of stories that we could look at. And so this is one view of it, would be everything from movies and TV series. So you've got the actual shows, series for TV, and then the individual episodes, movies, of course, actors. I've got some links because I thought they'd be fun to look at. So they're linked to each other, just as we talked about, but they're also directors, there are writers. Then we have things like ratings, right? So we have evaluations on top. Unfortunately, Metacritic is not something we can dig at because it's just, I think Viacom owns it, so we can't dig into it. But Rotten Tomatoes, we can. I'll show you some stuff from 538, which has been pretty cool. Looking at just Rotten Tomatoes and box office. So box office is something you can get from IMDb. Genres and TV tropes. We have, I know our new data artist person is interested in working on this as well, so we make some beautiful things. Lots of data sources. Fandom, the wiki thing is kind of out of control. But there's the overall, just the evolution of it. There are these outputs in terms of box office. Me Too would be a very interesting piece to look at here. I mean, maybe we could do it in a big data way and see what's happened. I linked to Myra Sorvino because she's been outspoken about that as one particular example. You could maybe detect things, right, in terms of how people's careers have behaved. There will be a lot of people, like all social phenomena, right? There are going to be tons of actors who appear in one thing once as the busboy or something, right? Or without a name, you know. If you've ever seen Ricky Gervais, The Office, right, the original Office, so he had a follow-up thing which was called Extras, I think, but it was about the people who were on the bubble of getting speaking parts, right? And they were always like at each other, like, well, what did you say? You know, like, and they're like, you know, they never say anything, no. They just kind of got looked at or whatever. So, you know, if you go to something like this, let me see if I can get that to work.
So you can't get data from Metacritic if they won't give you the data? Or
you could scrape it and get into a lot of trouble. That's unfortunately the story. It's from what I can tell. Yeah. So let me get this to work. So this is for Psych, which is a TV show if you haven't seen it. And this is right. This is the full cast and crew. This is IMDb has a lot of data on it. It's a little bit of a messy site, but you can scrape it and so on. This is. Yeah, so here are the main actors, right? I mean, of course, the core people are in almost all of them. And then you have people who had different kind of roles. They were in about half. He's in about a third of them. And then you get out pretty quickly to people who, I think, right? So 3 episodes, 2, and then it's down to 2. And they had a lot of extras in here. Like they had, William Shatner, right? This is just like Jeffrey Tambor. All these people are in there, right? So you have this very rich sort of connection of people. You can imagine these things going along. You have all these actors and they're appearing in lots of different things. Very rich, kind of complicated story. Well, yeah, and it kind of has to be. I think that's right. It kind of has to be. There was and they're not sure. It's like any cultural thing, right? You're not sure what's going to take off. And I have something along those lines here. You're not sure what's going to take off, so you throw a bunch of stuff out there. And because of Netflix and so on, I mean, they spend unbelievable amount of money, right, making stuff. This is, if you can read this, this is on Metacritic. This is based on a sample from lots of different reviewers, or sites and so on. TV Grim Reaper. This is about whether shows will be canceled or renewed. These are their predictions, right? So ABC has the Goldbergs, The Good Doctor, and Modern Family already renewed, and then these are all canceled, and then they have these estimates, right? So, like Kevin, I've never seen this show. Kevin probably said, right, doomed, because they've got, right? These are all these. Each column is from a particular site. What's that? Yeah,
Probably a good show.
not great. Trouble, right? Trouble for Agents of Shield, which is Marvel's big, like TV, right? Like, DC has a whole bunch on CW. Marvel's Inhumans, toast. Toast. No good. They messed up with the, well, I think they do well with the movies, but their TV shows are not so great. And DC's the other way around. Their movies are horrible, and the TV shows are cool.
Well, it's also very different types
In the movies.
show that they try and do. It's like so soapy.
Yeah, I mean, crazy things happen. I mean, crazy. The problem with TV is you don't know you're going to be around, right? So that's why Lost, for example, became just such a disaster, because they're like, we might have to finish it like this first season. So they sort of, and then they just have to like throw a like plot bomb into it to make it, keep going. But it becomes more and more absurd. CBS, Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, they're back, but this is pretty interesting. I don't know if any of you have seen any of these things. Living Biblically, that's done. I guess I'm kind of looking for the ones that are in trouble, because that seems fun. CW, which is pretty doing well for itself. Like, all of these are solid. This one is toast. Maybe. It doesn't they're not even reviewing it. Riverdale, which is an unbelievable reinterpretation of Archie. And if anyone's seen that, it's just like, wow. The old 50s comics of Archie and Jughead, and they're like, whatever, it's great, and we're like, we have soda. Anyway, now they have murder everywhere. What's that? I mean, they're going to try to take everything, right? I don't know about these ones. This was just, this is a 538 kind of thing to do, where you put a bunch of votes together, show it in a nice way. This one is done. Yeah, this is Supergirl, which is tremendous, is doing well there. That's good to see. So they're 1 to 5. So these are based on these, what they've gone and looked at them. So this has been a human effort to like look at what they wrote about it. And then, which Metacritic does, right? Metacritic does that all the time. They get reviews and they say on a 0 to 100 scale, and so they get, whereas Rotten Tomatoes is just like good or bad. Which, as we've discussed, is surprisingly effective, right? The thing from Finland, I think it was, right? Where you just leave they set it up in a gas station. As you leave, you just say good or bad experience, and that was it. Yes or no. Live or die, right? Old school. When they went to this? Because they had a 5-star thing? I know, everyone lost all their... Well, so years ago, there was a competition they opened up where you could help... I guess you would win a prize, but everyone else who didn't do well lost time. But it was this nice... They put out an open data set and said, can you make a better predictive model for us in terms of what people will like? And it turned out to be not just like some blunt force SVD thing, but also that people are weird and, they just sort of go through different phases. Right? Because some people are just going to watch The Godfather and say, meh. And you're like, what? But it's where their current level is, so you have to sort of look at, Anyway, but the 1 to 5 thing seemed to help there, but then they got rid of it. You want to see some more of these? Ooh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in trouble. Wow. Bob's Burgers, they're happy with that one. Family Guy, season 16. My God. Actually, hold on. So, where's The Simpsons? Oh, no. It's already, it must be here, right? Already renewed. How many, 30 years? Is it? 30 years? They may have started in the late 80s. Anyway, so it's an NBC. Let's one more. It's just, this is an interesting thing to have done. So I don't know these. This is all American shows?
The 29th season of The Simpsons.
Wow.
Well, they have to do at least 30, they're so close to the milestone.
It's one of the longest running shows ever, right? I think top 5. And which one? Well, yeah, it's true, because it starts in the 50s. Wow, those old ones are brutal. Lassie was Lassie ran for a long time, which is, You guys know, I mean, this is right, Lassie's famous, right? No? Which was the border collie? Help, someone stuck in a well, and that sort of the classic stuff, right? So, I may have said this, but Australia had their own version. We had a kangaroo, Skippy the bush kangaroo. It was great. Little boy would whistle, you'd get a gum leaf off a tree and go, and Skippy would come over and go, because they don't have no noises, right? So they don't have any animal. I mean, what do giraffes say? It's like, what does the fox say? If you remember that one, right? But they just had this kangaroo go, and that was it. That would be, boy in a well, 3 feet down. Thanks, Skip. And then they'd bounce off and they'd follow Skippy. They absolutely had this. I mean, it was a total rip-off of Lassie with a kangaroo. It's awesome. And I'm not going to show it, but you should look up the theme song if you want. It's pretty funny.